Save our kids. I 100% fully agree. Any child, anywhere, should be safe from any kind of abuse, from any kind of crime. But I have one problem. My issue is that when people say save our kids, what they mean is save our kids from people who look like this. And so what you get is these sentiments of anti-immigration, racism. People who look like this will now be viewed as suspicious, as a threat to the children of the UK. Whereas people who look like this, they aren't viewed as a threat. They are not the ones that people have in mind when they say save our kids. What they mean is let's selectively save our children from people who look differently to us. Now me, I'm consistent. I make no distinction. White, black, brown, whatever it is, if people are harming children, abusing children, then damn right they should be punished. Personalities like Tommy Robinson will be very, very selective about what they share on social media, making sure that almost all of their posts about saving children from abuse are exclusive to immigrant, non-white men. Even though the statistics tell you that the majority of people in the UK participating in grooming gangs and in even individual cases of abuse are white men, which is what you would expect because it goes with the proportion of society that is white. I did not see these same protesters coming out on the streets when people like Jimmy Savile, the most notorious person involved in this kind of crime, was exposed and convicted. When Lucy Letby was convicted, the NHS nurse, I did not once again see these protesters and people like Tommy Robinson and co coming out onto the streets saying save our children. One of the most notorious criminals in this regard, another white bloke, again, I did not see Tommy Robinson and co coming out onto the streets saying save our children. David Carrick, who used to work for the Met Police, has come out as the country's worst ever you-know-what offender. Again, I didn't see the big uprising. I did not see the protest about saving our children. Described as one of Britain's worst ever child abusers. Up to 200 children. And once again, I did not see people coming out on the streets saying save our children, most likely because he abused Malaysian children. He was a white British man nonetheless. So people who look like this, and this, and this, like her, and like him, will not make headlines for Tommy Robinson, for the majority of society, because they do not look like this. They do not fit the narrative. Even though all the evidence and facts proves that it is not the immigrants or those who are non-white who carry out most of these crimes, it is not the immigrants or the non-white people who are the biggest threat to children in the UK. Save our kids, I agree, but from what? Did you know that the Birmingham Council approved a nude walk through a park, which was very quickly cancelled after the news spread on social media? It was planned at around midday in a local park where children and families are going to be walking and running around. Is this not a threat to children? Should this not be one of the slogans for the Save Our Kids campaigners? Not to allow this kind of stuff to take place on the streets of Britain. Save our kids, once again, I agree, but from what? It is not to save our kids from white men or brown men or black men. The discussion is a lot bigger than which colour should we save our kids from. The real threat to the children in the UK is not a skin colour, it is an ideology. It is an attack on values and principles. It is liberalism. It is the very same ideas that will allow and guarantee the rights of people to walk through a park midday completely nude on the basis that they have the right to do so. It is the very ideas and values of liberalism that has unfortunately objectified women and even children and even men now to a point where certain people that have certain deviancies within their hearts will view them as a piece of flesh to satisfy their own pleasures and their own desires. You want something to blame of being a threat to your children? You blame the very ideas that create these kind of monsters in the first place, of objectification, of unrestricted gratification that creates these kinds of people, these kinds of criminals in the first place. And for those of you who say, oh, it's only a few bad apples, no, it is not. Unfortunately, the numbers, the statistics, the crime are going up in the thousands. It is not a skin colour that is a threat to the children of the UK. It is the ideology that is the basis of creating these kinds of criminals and monsters in the very first place.